What's up guys, it's Adam FPL and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Double Game Week 26 is officially over and I think it's safe to say for most, it didn't live up to the hype. With that being said, in this video we're going to go over my points in Game Week 26, kind of talk about what happened in the Game Week in general. We're also going to go over how my team is shaping up for Game Week 27, what my transfer plans are for the upcoming game weeks, and my chip strategies. And we're also going to go over some Harvey Barnes replacements in addition to the usual captaincy part at the end of the video. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video and enjoy this channel, be sure to drop a subscribe down below and hit that button, and also smash the like button as it's all greatly appreciated. As I always say, I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, and so if you guys enjoy it, it's all greatly appreciated. So with that being said, let's get into my points for Game Week 26. So in Game Week 26, as you guys can see, I got 98 points and with a -8 hit, so I got 90 points. I'm recording right after the Liverpool-Chelsea game, so it hasn't updated completely yet, but let's kind of get through the team. So as you guys can see, I played a chip this week, played my bench boost. I'm happy to get out of the way. If you guys want to know why, check out my previous video where I talk about the bench boost and kind of its pros and cons. But anyways, so the bench boost here didn't work out. Let's first go over that. As you guys can see, if you cancel out the -8 for Areola, then I got 6 points, all from single game week players. All had decently good fixtures. They just didn't perform, but let's go through the team. So we have Lowton and Cancelo with 2 blanks, Martinez with 10 points in the first game against Leeds, keeping a clean sheet, and then 2 points against Sheffield. Pretty unexpected they lost that game, but Martinez still got 12 points. Stones only played 1 game as well, but he scored a goal, so getting 10 points really helped, as even though he's kind of highly owned, they conceded in this game and I didn't have DS, so kind of nice that Stones scored a goal in the end. In the midfield, we have pretty much blanks all around except Stone, who was my highest scorer of the week. He got most of his points in that Burnley game, getting 2 assists, a couple bonus points in the clean sheet point where Spurs kind of ran wild against Burnley there, kind of broke him open. And yeah, Captain Kane did return at least, he got 1 goal. He should have had more. He was actually quite unlucky. I was talking about this with one of my friends, that Kane could have had like 4 goals this week. And yeah, a lot of people put the triple captain armband on him, so really frustrating week. I didn't lose out much on triple captainers. We have Watkins, who got 1 assist in the Leeds game, got 7 points, and yeah, I talked about the bench boost. So that's kind of the team. We got 90 points in the end. Failed to hit the 100 mark with the hit, but it's safe to say the hit didn't pay off this week. So let's go to my Game Week 27 team. Currently, this is how I'm lined up. We have a 3-4-3 here. We have a double game week for Manchester City. So I have 3 Manchester City players. The only one I'm confident that will play both most likely is Cancelo at the moment, as he got his rest this week against, where did he get his rest? Against West Ham. And yeah, I think that Cancelo usually plays most games as his first choice. I think Stones will play one of the two. He continues to rotate with Laporte. Probably was a mistake a few weeks ago going Stones over Diaz, but we can't rectify that now. It's too sideways to change. I think with Gundogan, he may play both as well. Similar to Cancelo, he got the rest. He plays probably in the United game as he's in probably the first team for Pep. And maybe he plays against Southampton again. Fernandes against Manchester City. In the team at the moment, tough fixture. I don't expect any returns here, but we still have him in the team. Salah, I think that Fulham will not let in too many goals. If we kind of look at Fulham here, I think that this whole year they've kind of been letting in 1, maybe 2 goals max, and I think that this is kind of a tough game for Liverpool, given the way they're playing, given the way Salah's kind of out of form. I still back him to bounce back, especially with these fixtures, but I think that Salah, it's just when it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. He's still a great player, and I'm going to have him in the team for now. We have the Spurs guys with 2 nice fixtures against Crystal Palace. Even though Crystal Palace had tightened up and they kept 2 consecutive clean sheets now, I think that these guys can still do damage against anyone. I'm in a good position with this team kind of because I already have Son and Kane, and a lot of people are looking to get these guys in for further good fixtures. That's kind of what I was talking about, as the hit is kind of setting me up well for these upcoming game weeks. I have the 2 Spurs guys who have nice fixtures and play in Game Week 29. And we have Watkins and Bamford who have 2 iffy fixtures against Wolves. The bench may have some points on it, but at the moment, the bench has kind of all pretty tough fixtures. The one guy I could start over is Ben White, but I have Ben White in the team at the moment because Brighton have been really good defensively lately. These 2 games they've had here are just the most unluckiest games ever. These games they should have won. Leicester, with all their ravaged injuries, with the likes of Maddison, Barnes, James Justin, Vardy's not 100% fit. I think that White can keep a clean sheet here possibly. And I'm probably not going to play Lowton. I don't favor Burnley in this Arsenal match. Arsenal have been kind of catching some form lately. And Dallas, I could play against West Ham, but I think West Ham will score. That's how the team is shaping up. If we go to my transfer plans for this week, This week is actually pretty simple. Unlike last week where I had this huge elaborate plan making 4 switches, this week I'm looking likely to roll my transfer. So let's kind of talk about the main things that people are going for. So obviously people are going to be replacing Barnes, which I'll talk about my top choices in a little bit in the video, but a lot of people are also going to be replacing Bruno Fernandes. And if you look, they have a case. To justify here, they have 4 tough fixtures, or 3 rather tough fixtures and a blank. So they have City, which I don't expect much. West Ham have been playing really well this season. Then he doesn't play in Game Week 29. And Brighton, like I said with White, have been statistically really good defensively as well. So for Game Week 31 wildcarders, like myself most likely at the moment, you can kind of look past these 4, and people are saying you can get him back on the wild card. So, and people are kind of switching him to the likes of a Spurs midfielder like Son or Bale, even to Lingard, maybe to Grealish if he's fit. I don't have a good reason to get rid of him this week, especially with Grealish not being fit, not knowing if he has that double game week in Game Week 28. So this week, most likely, I'm looking to roll the transfer. I already have 8 blank Game Week 29 players, which is decent enough already. I can still have 2 free transfers in Game Week 28, or I can decide if I want to get any Villa or Everton players if they do announce the double. And if not, I can look to get rid of Bruno or something like that and get in the likes of, let's just say, I don't know, another blank Game Week 29 player, and then I can upgrade maybe a Stones or a Cancelo to another blank Game Week 29 player, and I'll have 10 players already ready for Game Week 29. So that's kind of my transfer plans. Pretty much to roll the transfer this week. If we go back to my team, I don't see an immediate need where I need to play another, or I need to take out another person. Maybe I can take out one of my defenders here and get a better third defender fixture, but other than that, I'm keeping Fernandes. You never bench him if you're going to keep him. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm kind of looking at. Another part I kind of want to talk about, I want to talk about some Harvey Barnes replacements. So we have 5 guys here that are kind of my top choices. Obviously, these are more differential players. If you have the likes of Gundogan already and stuff like that, most people have him, so obviously he's a great option if we look at him here, but he's highly owned, and if you don't have him, you pretty much probably should get him in. I mean, he's got a double game week this week, and he's at this price is amazing, even if he gets rotated every once in a while. Even with KDB back, I think Gundogan is still good, and there isn't enough reasonable data to suggest that he's significantly regressed. So let's look at some of these options. So we first have Rafinha of Leeds. I think he's their main man, actually. He's been kind of ticking along, kind of like Grealish was for a while in the season, and he's basically involved in most of the chances, if not always, on the set pieces. He's been looking a little bit better than Bamford lately. Bamford hasn't been getting as many shots, so I think he's the Leeds guy to have. Obviously, kind of 2 tough fixtures here. He has the nice fixture in 29 against Fulham, and off the back of that, Sheffield. And then, if you want to keep Rafinha through these tough fixtures, he's got a really nice run to end the season. So I like Rafinha here. He's a differential as well. And Mason Mount is another guy. This may seem kind of knee-jerky to you guys, but as a Chelsea fan, maybe even more biased, but to be honest, I actually kind of like Mount as an asset. So he had a nice 11-pointer today, but I think that the thing I like about Mount is he has these 2 nice fixtures. Everton are hit or miss all season pretty much. They are on some form, but like I said, anything can happen. They're really unpredictable. This week, they only won 1-0 against both teams. They're 2 really easy fixtures, but like I said, you never know. So then Mount has Leeds in 28, Blanks in 29, but then he has really nice fixtures kind of up to this Manchester City game. If he's kind of more of a long-term pick for non-wildcarders. And yeah, Mount's on set pieces a lot of times. He's on penalties if Jorginho's not on the pitch. I think that Mount is either first or second on Tuchel's penalty short list, so he most likely will have penalties. He did make the ones he had this season, and he's a differential at 7.6. I really like Mount, actually. As a player and as a maybe FPL option, he's starting to become decent. We have Saka, who is another kind of differential, like I said. He's probably Arsenal's best player, similar to Mount right now. He's on the set pieces. He's involved in most of the chances. The only worry I'd have with Saka is that he could be potentially getting rotated as Arteta wants to prioritize Europa League, as they actually have a chance of winning that. And the league, in the Premier League, they already are kind of out of, even maybe top 4. So if they win Europa, that's their one way to the Champions League. So I think Arteta may be rotating a little bit more to prioritize that Europa League, which is a little worrisome. But the good part about Saka is he's got these nice fixtures. He plays in 29. He's involved in a lot of their goals. So then we have Son, who I guess this is not a differential pick, but this 52% ownership is a little bit deceiving, as Son is owned by a lot of dead teams, inactive teams that everyone had him at the beginning of the season when he was going crazy. But now that kind of around the top 1 million, top 500k maybe. He's a lot less owned than you would think. You'd have to look at effective ownership on live FPL for that, but I like Son. I'm in a good position, like I said, to have him, as these nice 4 fixtures of Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Aston Villa, and Newcastle look really good on paper. They play in Blink Game Week 29. So that's another plus to have. And Son has kind of looked like he's more threatening lately and kind of picked up where he kind of was peaking at the beginning of the season. Then I have Jesse Lingard, who maybe this is a little bit knee-jerky, as I haven't seen too many, like, he's played these few games here. He's playing well. He has some goals, some assists, but I don't know if Lingard will be able to keep it up. Maybe he's kind of more like a short-term pick, but he's got Leeds in Game Week 27, which is really good. You have to bench him against United, as you can't play against your parent club when you're alone. Then he plays in Game Week 29, and if you really want to keep him long-term, they got a really nice end of the season here in Game Weeks 34 to 38. So I like Lingard, I guess, a little bit for an option. The other guys you could consider could, of course, go Gareth Bale as another option here. Same price as Son, and he's a little bit more prone to rotation, which is kind of why I picked Son over him, but he's really low owned, and he has the potential to be explosive here, guys. You got a 19-pointer here, and he's got those nice fixtures, and he kind of really increases the creativity in that Spurs team, which is really good, and I think Jose Mourinho notices that they kind of need to start picking up some convincing wins, so he's kind of playing Bale. As long as he's not injured, he's a pretty good option. Those are kind of the Barnes options. If we go to the last part of the video and talk about captaincy. So at the moment, I have it on Gundogan, double game week player for Manchester City, and the vice on Kane. So I think that Manchester City guys are a good option, as always a double game week player is. You get more of the chance of them returning in 180 minutes if they play. So I think that Gundogan and Cancelo are more likely to play both games than Stones is. I think Stones will continue to rotate with Laporte, so I wouldn't captain Stones. I probably wouldn't captain Cancelo either, as there's just so much competition at those outside back spots. Cancelo will probably play the United game, and you don't know what to expect there. Maybe a 0-0, but anything could happen in a big game like that. And then you don't know if you'll play Southampton, so that might be a little more risky. And Pep doesn't bring on his defenders at all, so you'd be getting a 0-pointer pretty much in the game he doesn't play. I would maybe captain Diaz, though. If I had Diaz, I went Stones over Diaz a few weeks ago, and in hindsight, that's a mistake. But I can't rectify that now. Like I said, you just got to keep your 3 City guys and just hope they play as much as possible. But Diaz, you could captain. You could hope for a 0-0 here in this first game and hope he plays against Southampton, as Pep just kind of loves Diaz, and Diaz plays pretty much every game. He's one of those players. And yeah, Gundogan, I think he's kind of the upside pick here with the 2 games. I think you'll start the United game like Cancelo. He's in that best team. Pep will put out his best team. Maybe he comes on for the Southampton game. I don't know if he'll start, but Gundogan can do anything like we saw in this game against Wolves. He came on, 8 minutes, he got an assist. So Gundogan is just a great player this season. Really kind of reinvigorated that position under Pep, and Gundogan is probably one of the top captaincy options. You could go with a Spurs guy against Crystal Palace, even though Crystal Palace have 2 consecutive clean sheets. I think that a few days rest for these guys will be good, as they look tired in the Fulham game today, but I think that these guys can do damage against anyone, and it's still Crystal Palace without Zaha at the moment, so I like these guys as captaincy options. You could also go for Salah potentially. I wouldn't touch Fernandes against City. Salah against Fulham, but you're kind of relying on Liverpool to bounce back and Salah to bounce back and do well. And Fulham have been really pretty tight defensively for most kind of half of the season here. They've been letting up 2 goals at max, nothing too much. They've been resolute defensively, kind of a hard team to break down, similar to Sheffield. And I think that Salah, I kind of want to hold him as these fixtures are really good. And hopefully it's just one of these games he bounces back, as do Liverpool, but right now we just don't know at the moment. That's kind of who I got for captaincy. I like Gundogan, I like the Spurs guys, Kane and Son. Possibly Cancelo, I wouldn't touch Stones, but I like Diaz as an outside captaincy shot especially. So that's kind of going to wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed the video and you guys made it this far, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, if you guys enjoy it. It's all greatly appreciated, and get down in the comments below. Let me know how you guys did in Double Game Week 26, what your point score was. Let me know what your transfer plans are and any questions on your guys' team and transfers, and let me know what you guys think about my transfers and my team selection and all that. So with that being said, it's Adam FPL, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the game week and in the next video. Bye.